Hello and welcome to Geek-lish, the language of geek culture. I am your host, Tim Magyar, and joining me is my co-host, one of the only people to survive the fire swamp, Heidi Rabeau. Heidi.
I don't know if I would survive. I probably started it. I'm so accident prone. I probably started it. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. To find out more information about our podcast, you can go to our website at www.geek-lish. We're on Facebook at Geek-lish and Twitter at Geek_lish. And you can find our episodes on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Blueberry, and YouTube. And coming soon, bum, 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 we've submitted our podcast to Pandora. It's a lengthy wait, 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I just checked it again today. It's in review, so I'm not sure what that means, but
It's good, I guess.
yeah, I guess so. So
right.
we should be on Pandora fairly soon, and we'll announce when we're live on there.
Which is pretty awesome.
Yes, it's pretty awesome. And I wanted to announce we started a couple episodes, our like jar. And our first charity is an amazing charity called BACK, Bikers Against Animal Cruelty. They do amazing things. They're incredible people, the biggest hearts. I can't say enough good things about them. And in our like words that we said too many times.
Said it so many times.
We raised $64 for BACK, and we did submit it to them, and they're very happy. It will help many animals.
So, start off the podcast, as always, saying hello to my buddy Oliver. Oliver, I hope you are a good boy tonight. I love you. Be good for your mama. And sweet dreams, my little angel. You are the best. Don't laugh. He is an angel, Heidi.
No kid is a true angel. They're all little.
He's my angel. Listen, the devil was an angel.
True.
So, boom.
Well, I don't know how true it is because I don't believe in it. But
You know what I mean.
That story is actual. You're giving me the right information. Anyways.
Anyway, Heidi, way to call my child the devil.
No, he's a sweetie pie.
No, Heidi was
He is a sweetie pie. I cannot believe how big he is, too. It freaks me out.
Oh my God, I know. He's going to be driving soon.
Yep. Going to college.
Always crap you give me.
Yeah, I know.
He's going to be getting married soon.
You keep crying about his dad.
Stop, he's my baby.
All right, what's in the news?
Oh boy, the news. Well, first story is about the X-Men.
Okay.
One X-Man in particular.
Okay.
Or as the snowflakes like to say, X-people.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, because that's a thing that people are trying to make a thing.
Oh, stop.
But it's not the story we're telling today.
Okay,
Heidi.
good, because I can't. I don't have it in me today to deal with that.
God, just
All these
shut up.
super feminists that are like, we should take the man out of everything. What? That's not.
Knock it off.
Yeah, that's not going to save.
Pick your
anything.
battles.
Yeah, I know. Let's.
That's
how
not
about
a battle worth fighting.
Yeah, how about we
in my
not
opinion.
change that and maybe get paid?
Yeah.
Equal.
Focus all of your energy
Yeah.
on equal rights.
Yeah.
Instead of making X-Men X people.
Yeah, that's dumb.
That's stupid.
That's stupid.
But whatever. I'm not a
Anyways.
feminist. I'm not a true feminist because I'm not a woman.
Well, I might get my card revoked because I didn't agree with that.
That
But anyways,
is true. So coming from WeGotThisCovered.com.
we got this covered.
We got
okay.
this covered. Yeah, one word. By an article by Matt Joseph, written 2 days ago. So the name of the article was X-Men fans furious that Marvel may cast person of color for MCU's Magneto.
Okay.
Now MCU's Magneto. For people who don't know, Magneto is most often the main baddie in the X-Men universe. He is, he always counteracts Professor Xavier, the guy in the wheelchair,
Yep.
and he is the master of magnetism. He can control all types of metal, and he is a bad guy who just wants to kind of destroy humans because he thinks that they're inferior to mutants.
Right.
So people want to not people, but Disney wants to cast a person of color as the character of Magneto, and people are not having it.
I might have an issue with that.
Yes, this is one of those situations where this isn't Ariel, this isn't a mermaid.
Yeah.
This is a character whose backstory, his ethnic backstory, plays a massive role in who he is as a character.
Yes.
So let's get into the article, and then we will discuss.
Okay.
Okay? Can we do that, Heidi?
I guess.
All right. There comes the Valley Girl. Like, whatever. There's one. Anyway, with Disney now having acquired 20th Century Fox, which good or bad, depending on what camp you're in, Marvel fans can't wait for the X-Men, Deadpool, and Fantastic Four among others, to make their Marvel Cinematic Universe debut. I am one of those people who cannot wait to see all these people.
Yeah.
All these characters in one universe.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
Gotta be so great. However, we've already been told that it may be a while before we see them show up, which is fine.
Yeah.
They have so many Marvel movies, like already existing Marvel characters that they're making movies for.
Right.
It's like, that is completely fine.
Yeah.
You have Phase 4. Looking right at Heidi when I say this, because I know she hates it.
It's not Phase 4. It's
Phase
Phase
2. Which, technically, I do agree with you.
Thank you.
I do agree with you on a sense where it's like...
It's a wrap-up of...
It's the end of this story.
Yes.
But I see where they're coming from with the Phase 4.
Well, because they're wrong.
All right. Indeed, I'm just going to continue. So there isn't an argument. Indeed, Kevin Feige has been eager to stress that these new properties won't be entering the fold for a very long time. Phase 5, perhaps. Or, as Heidi would probably put it, Phase 3. Maybe. As there's still a ton to do in terms of planning and plotting out storylines before the likes of Captain Marvel, Black Panther, and Spider-Man, which is crossed out because he's not in there anymore. The Guardians of the Galaxy can cross paths with Wolverine, Magneto, and Professor X, which is just, I can't wait for that to happen.
Yeah, that's going to
be so awesome. Speaking of the latter two, and we've heard that Marvel Studios might be casting people of color for Eric Leinsher, which is a very, very Jewish name, and Charles Xavier. The casting of Zendaya as MJ and Tony Revolori as Flash in Spider-Man Far From Home already showed us that the world isn't quite at the point where fans are all right with changing the background of a well-established comic book character, and sure enough, this recent news pertaining to the X-Men has been met with a storm of controversy. Now, the whole thing with Zendaya as MJ, they've never really specified that she's Mary Jane.
Yeah.
So, stop it.
Well, MJ, come on.
And yeah, but they've never really said, so you can argue that it's not really Mary Jane.
But also, does it really matter what ethnicity she is? Does it play a part in her background?
Not really, but neither does Flash. Flash, the bully of the high school.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really... He is such a minor character. Who cares who he's played by?
But see, my problem is if the backstory is not reflective of the change that they're making, then they shouldn't be making it, because now it feels like they're shoehorning people of color in the universe just to do it. And to me, it's very similar to, I don't want to get a job with a company just because I'm a woman, because they have a quota. I want to get a job because of my ability and my skills and my education.
Yeah, you want to earn it.
I want to earn it.
Yeah.
So I would think that people of color would want the same thing. They don't want to be just handed something out of whatever white guilt or whatever that people call it. And the character that they're talking, or the characters that they're talking about changing now, their backstory is from what I remember. Yeah. They were children being taken to Auschwitz or a place like that.
Not both of them. Just Magneto specifically.
Just Magneto.
Just Magneto specifically.
I thought Xavier was too.
Xavier.
Oh, that's right. It was just Magneto.
Yeah, just Magneto.
Changing Magneto's ethnicity is, in my opinion, that doesn't make sense to me.
No, yeah.
Ariel, I don't care.
It doesn't matter.
You can have any ethnicity, in my opinion. And actually, the way the person pointed it out with the Jamaican sound and lobster and everything, it made more sense that she was
not in the Caribbean, where she probably would be dark skinned anyway.
Yeah, it would make more sense that she was ethnic than just this white redhead.
Yeah,
that didn't make sense. Now that I still love
you take all those things into consideration.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, does make the theory makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. And also, changing the ethnicity of the mermaid has no bearing in the backstory.
Absolutely. Like I said, my thing was that I'm glad that they hired somebody who can sing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if anything is the most important part of that character, it's her voice.
Yeah.
Because literally the story revolves around her voice.
Yeah.
So having somebody who can sing, a professional singer, whether they're black, Asian, white, whatever the fuck, that's what's the most important part.
Exactly.
Is her singing voice.
So, but in this situation, I do have a problem with it, because it's not it doesn't make sense to me.
It's not one of those situations like with Ariel where it's like, oh, it doesn't matter what color they are or what ethnicity they are.
Yeah.
It's just another character. It's like, no, for like with Professor X, that may be true, because he was just born in a rich family.
Yeah.
It didn't really matter, what his background is, and it would kind of also make sense that him and him and Magneto would become friends because they both would have lived in a time where they were both looked at as below people.
Yeah.
So their friendship would have been kind of, Magneto could have seen Professor X as, oh, here's another person that has gone through strife like I've had to go through. So there's a prejudice or whatever, or racism or whatever, and so there's something to connect to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, it's just two old white guys who are friends, which is also fine.
So Professor X being changed is fine.
Yeah, I don't really care.
I don't see, but there's no backstory that we can go to and go, well, that doesn't make sense.
Right.
Not like Magneto.
With Magneto, he, like you said, he was a boy who, him and his mother, were going to Auschwitz or some sort of he survived the Holocaust.
Yeah.
That's the important part of his story.
Because that changes him.
That's why he hates humans so much.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from. Making him a person of color, like, are you still going to make them go through Auschwitz? Because that doesn't make any sense. Are you going to make them go through the civil rights? Because, I mean, that would make sense, but also make a different character.
Yeah.
Do another person.
But then
now that's no longer Magneto.
Yeah.
That's some other guy.
Yeah, but then because
that's Professor X.
Yeah, exactly. But
how did he get crippled? Oh, he got beaten the shit out of by some KKK members when he was black, and now that's why he's crippled.
Yeah, that would. Yeah.
You could do that. I don't fucking know. I'm not a writer.
But changing Magneto's backstory just to kind of shoehorn him in as a person of color, that doesn't make any sense to me.
No, and it's kind of...
And I'm usually all for people changing characters and mixing it up.
When it makes sense, or if it has nothing to do with the backstory.
Exactly.
Which in most cases, sometimes it really doesn't. Sometimes it's just... All right, it's just a different, like with Mary Jane. Like, I grew up with the comic books. I'm used to Mary Jane being white. Okay, she's black. It's just something to get used to. But it's not like I hate Zendaya. She did a great job.
Yeah, I like
Plus,
her.
she's a different character.
Yeah.
You also got to think of, this is a different universe.
Yeah.
This is a totally different universe.
Yeah.
And her backstory, she has no backstory.
Right.
She's a high school student that went to high school with Peter. Who gives a shit what color she is?
Yeah.
She went to high school with Peter in New York City. He only went to school with white people.
Yeah, I know.
He only has white friends.
Yeah.
Like, his best friend is Hawaiian or Filipino, or I don't know what the hell he is. His girlfriend is black, and his bully is what looks to be Indian. Like,
yeah,
he's got a very diverse high school, which makes sense because he's in fucking New York City.
It's very diverse.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Changing Magneto's backstory or changing him to a person of color,
that doesn't make any.
It doesn't make any sense because, and here's what pisses me off the most about it is that if they were to do that to a character, like if they were to change Blade, to a white guy, that would cause problems.
Yeah.
People would be very upset about it. What's the difference?
Yeah.
Why is this different? Because someone else is getting, because now you're being satiated? It's like, you're not stealing from me because whatever. You're stealing from Jewish people who survived the Holocaust because that's who Magneto is. Mm-hmm. He's their representation.
Yeah.
Why? So stealing from someone else's representation to represent someone else is kind of, it's not even a lateral move. It's a downward.
Yeah.
You're going down. It doesn't make sense.
This just
flabbergasted.
Well, it feels forced, and it feels.
It does.
It's very frustrating because, again, I'm all for changing things up. If you want to make,
Yeah.
It's the same as somebody saying, well, Spider-Man's going to be black in this other universe. Okay, I don't care because there's canon for that, right?
There is, yes.
So
Miles Morales.
Yeah, and honestly, Spider-Man is Spider-Man. Peter Parker is Peter Parker.
They're two different people. It's like Bruce Wayne and Batman. There was another Batman after Bruce Wayne, the Batman Beyond TV show, which was a huge hit, which was a younger kid.
Yeah.
And it was like, now this guy is Batman.
But
that's not whatever.
Yeah, he's carrying
the title
on the torch.
the title is being passed on or whatever the hell, which is technically kind of what happens with Miles Morales and Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Peter Parker dies and hands it off to Miles Morales in that universe.
Right. So there's certain characters that you can do that with that makes complete sense, but then there's other characters that you can't. But it feels as if Disney and a lot of other different organizations are just shoehorning in.
It feels like that's happening more and more often. Yeah, you're right.
And it does for women too. I've noticed that they're trying to put women in everything now.
Yeah.
And it's very much insulting to me because I don't want a woman to be something just because you want to have a woman.
Right.
Does it make sense? I'm a little bit of a purist when it comes to certain things. It's very similar, like, for instance, Flash Gordon. Oh, I freaking love that cheesy
He's the savior of the universe.
I know.
That's a great
it
movie.
would drive me crazy if they decided to make
Flash a girl
yeah.
or a lady.
It
Sorry.
doesn't make sense. He was a football player from
Yeah, he was the quarterback for a football team.
Yeah.
That was his back. As stupid as that is,
Yeah.
that was his backstory, and it's cheesy. Well, I mean, it also fits the narrative of the movie. It's a
Yeah.
very cheesy fucking movie.
I know, I love it. But it wouldn't make any sense just to make it him a
do it
female
just to do it.
because.
Yeah.
You could make Flash somebody of color
Oh, absolutely, because that doesn't matter.
because he would just be a football player.
Yeah, and his background as a football player. Everybody can be a football player.
Yeah. And
So 100%, you can remake Flash Gordon, but as a person of color.
Yeah, for me, that would be fine because he's a football player. Maybe that sounds sexist because women can be football players. That's not reality. Okay, we're not talking about.
Yeah, there isn't a legitimate football league where
No.
there's women, unless
No.
you count the one where they're running around in bra and panties.
No, that's not legit.
Yeah, I know that's not legit. I'm just saying that's the thing
No.
that happens on TV, which is really stupid.
No, that's really ridiculous. But no, I think that would make sense. But shoehorning a woman into that role just to
Doesn't
have
make sense.
a woman in that role makes absolutely no sense. So I don't like when they shoehorn people in because it feels like you're stuffing this down my throat because you have some kind of a guilty conscious agenda about something.
Right.
If it makes sense, make the move. I'm fine with it.
Right.
Because I like variety. I like changing things up. But
Yeah.
don't do it just because you're trying to appease a certain
Change it.
demographic.
Change it if it makes sense.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like people still get upset with the whole Tilda Swinton, I believe her name was,
Oh.
who played the
Ancient one?
in the Doctor Strange movie. Now
She was fantastic, though.
I thought she was good in it.
Yeah.
People were upset because the Ancient One is an Asian person. Okay, here's the reason that nobody does the research.
Yeah.
At face value, that's a really bad move.
Yeah.
Why would you whitewash this character who is an Asian person?
Right.
Well, because one of the biggest box offices for Marvel, for any movie company,
China.
is China. Precisely. And to have an Asian person, a Chinese person, play a Tibetan monk is not a great move.
No.
Because China and Tibet have issues.
Yeah.
They don't like each other. Well, I think more China doesn't like Tibet, but whatever. But they don't have it. They have issues. So in order to appease a major box office, you change the character.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize, and that nobody made a fuss over. The character in the movie, there was a character in the movie that becomes friends with Doctor Strange, the African American guy, the black guy.
Okay, I don't remember.
He was there. He's the one that gives Doctor Strange the Wi-Fi password. He's like, "What is this, a mantra?" He's like, "No, it's Wi-Fi. We're not."
Oh no, I don't remember.
You remember him? But he's the one. He becomes like his friend, and they fight side by side. And then at the end of the movie, you notice that he becomes Moloch or something like that. He becomes a villain, and he removes the magic. It's like there's too much magic in the world.
Yep.
Yeah, that guy is a black guy. In the comic books, that guy's a white guy.
Oh.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because
yeah.
it doesn't really matter because his backstory doesn't matter as long as he's a magician that then goes bad. That's the only part of the story that makes sense. That is really something that is something to look at.
That needs to be constant.
Who cares what his
color
race is?
That's-
But you're not gonna. Why would you have a hissy fit over this, but not this? You claim to be a purist of the comic books. Why is Tilda Swinton should be an Asian man? That black guy shouldn't be in this movie. It should be a white guy.
Yeah.
You can't have both. You can't be angry at one character and then be completely fine with another character.
Yeah.
Okay? I was completely fine with Tilda Swinton playing that character because she's a great actress. I understood why they had to do it because I understand movies and I like to look behind the scenes on these things, and as a company, it makes sense to have to appease a major box office where
huge one.
millions of dollars are going to come in through.
Yep.
But I also didn't give a shit about the other guy.
Yeah.
I didn't care. So it's like, first off, I don't remember what his name was, but the guy who played him is a good actor.
Yeah.
And he played it well. And I've seen him in other movies where it's like, I like this guy.
Yeah.
He's a good actor. Why would I be upset about this?
It's just like Doctor Strange. He could be black
He could be, yeah.
because he was just a doctor.
He was just a neurosurgeon. He was a surgeon.
He was some kind of really
doesn't
high-paid
matter.
surgeon. All he would have to be is very arrogant, get in a car accident, and
That's-
then have to.
that's really it.
technically he could have been black. He could have been
Asian. You
Yeah.
could have made him the Asian guy.
It wouldn't have mattered because
No,
his
yeah, it wouldn't have.
backstory had nothing to do with his ethnicity. But with
But to make it pure to the comics, you tend to
Yeah.
make the major characters
But-
the same. You tend to.
but you don't have to. That wouldn't have upset me if it was somebody else. I
It would have upset other people.
Well, yeah.
It would have upset the purists.
It would have. But the thing is, with Magneto, like you said, his backstory plays a huge part in who he is
Yeah.
and why he goes the way he goes. So I do have a huge issue with that.
Yeah. So the article continues on. Taking to Twitter, a ton of people have begun to share their frustration in regards to Marvel potentially making Magneto and Professor X people of color. And below, you can see just the sample of these people. So here's a couple of tweets. I don't like that they're casting a person of color for Magneto because his Holocaust story is integral to the character.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's casting person of color for comic book characters only works with certain characters. Magneto is not one of them.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, not going to lie. Please rethink making the iconic characters in the X-Men people of color. Magneto was in the Holocaust. Wolverine is Canadian-born in the 1800s. Charles was a New Yorker. Don't destroy their... Which that's a stupid one. Charles is a New Yorker. All right. There's a lot of black people who live in New York City.
I don't
There's a lot of people of color. Because just because it says people of color doesn't mean it's going to be a black person.
That doesn't... Charles doesn't...
That's what... Like, Charles Xavier doesn't make any sense.
No, he could be...
Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
That one, you're just... Literally, you're reaching on that one. That one's a literal reach. Like, he's a New Yorker. Have you been to New York?
And?
There's a lot of different people there. Literally, it's the hub. It's a hub.
Yeah.
It's a hub of different cultures. So that's a
reach.
stupid... Yeah. You won't keep the long-lasting fans. That's not true.
No.
Well, I mean, if they change Magneto, I think they won't.
I
With Professor X, if you explain it right, I don't care.
Yeah.
With Magneto, there is no amount of... You would have to make a whole... just make a new character at that point. Just do that. Here's one more. Well, I'm all for inclusion of people of color in the film industry since I'm Hispanic, but I truly hope that #MCU keeps Magneto and Professor X like their original comic book versions when introduced. So people are just kind of upset with that.
Yeah, but they're upset about both, and I'm really only upset about one.
I'm only upset about Magneto.
Because, like you said, Charles could be he could his ethnicity.
Anybody could play
change.
Charles Xavier.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me as long as he ends up in a wheelchair because that's integral to his character.
Yeah,
but
literally him being crippled is the only thing that's integral to that character.
Yeah, exactly.
That is it.
But Magneto,
Magneto has to be Jewish
I just can't.
or of Jewish heritage.
Yeah, but I just don't understand why they have to go way outside the box like that. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
because I feel like at that point you're just appeasing people who in certain cases aren't even asking for it.
No, and I think true comic book fans, no matter what their ethnicity, would appreciate for people to keep to the comic books.
Yeah.
And when deviations can be made because they make sense, then yeah, sure, do that because variety is great. But
if they make
don't
sense.
shoehorn characters in or people of different ethnicities or different females in just because that doesn't make sense.
I agree. Yeah, that's...
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, but...
I'm not real happy about that.
So they're thinking about it.
I don't know that I will. I don't know that I would watch. I don't know that I would watch it.
I don't know either. Which would kind of be a shame considering they're finally bringing them into the fold of this massive universe, and they're potentially about to screw it up.
I think Marvel is very much like The Walking Dead. The Marvel writers are very much like The Walking Dead writers, where they expect us just to trust them,
follow blindly,
trust them, and just go along with them. But in my opinion, and people might disagree, but The Walking Dead writing went to shit, and I'm not really a big fan. I stopped watching, and because I'm very, very particular about how I spend my time, especially watching television. I don't know, movies or whatever, or going to the movies even. I don't know that I would go see that because I don't agree with the change.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because people are going to put their hearts and souls into it. But again, I'm not going to go see something I don't really think is a good
at this
idea.
point, it's the studio's fault.
Yeah.
It's not because some actor said something stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm punishing the entire studio because of one person saying something dumb. I am punishing the entire studio because the entire studio made a stupid decision.
Yeah, exactly.
Or somebody at a high up position wasn't told no.
Yeah.
That's a stupid idea, and they went along with it anyway. And it's like, sorry guys, pick a better person to follow. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
So next story is a little happier in certain cases.
Is it though?
We got some happy news. We got some neutral news, and then we got some potential bad news.
All right. Well, you bring it in, and we'll see what happens.
So, okay, remakes.
It's just never. Remakes are rarely ever good. Let's be honest.
No, you're right. In most cases, remakes
You can't
It's like lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, when a show or a movie is really good,
Yeah.
you can't recapture that,
Almost
especially when it's
perfect.
time sensitive. Footloose happened in the 80s. This is all shit that I used to watch when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I remember the time and the energy of the time, and the movie was amazing. They've tried to make it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, they didn't do it really well.
It was horrible.
They did one Havana. Remember Havana Nights?
Oh, that wasn't Footloose. That was Dirty Dancing.
Was that?
Yeah.
Oh, that was Footloose.
And Dirty Dancing.
Oh, Dirty. Yeah, they did a shit job with Dirty Dancing too, though.
The original was fantastic. The ones after that were garbage. I just worry about when they try to redo things. And I also think, do you have no other ideas?
That's the problem. Is that, yeah.
I mean, you guys are paid a ton of money to write stories, and
But the problem too is that sometimes like new ideas come out and they're just completely lampooned and just do horrible in the box office. So studios do try new ideas. Unfortunately, nowadays they are few and far in between. But when
Yeah.
you get a new idea, sometimes like people don't know it. People don't know that franchise. Not everybody is willing to kind of go into a new franchise, unfortunately. You know what I mean? So for like new movies to come out that are brand new ideas, sometimes they don't do great in the box office.
no, but
So
sometimes they do.
sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't. And I think it's problem is when they don't do good, that's when the studio's like, well, we're not going to do that again.
I know, but
Which is sad.
go into your remakes and we'll talk about them.
Okay, fine, whatever. So, I believe the website is Her, H-E-R,
Okay.
Her, written by Keely Ryan, lady.
Okay.
So this is the good one, the one people are happy about.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know if it's gonna be a good one, but people are happy about it. So the first look at the Secret Garden remake is here, and the nostalgia is real. It was one of those stories that was a childhood staple, whether you remember the movie or not, or the book. I don't remember either. Do you remember them?
Yes.
Okay, good. So one of us knows the story.
Yeah.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't remember it. But the story of The Secret Garden is heading back to the big screen next year, and honestly, we couldn't be more excited. It's the story of Mary Lennox, a prickly and unloved 10-year-old girl born in India to wealthy British parents. When they suddenly die, she is sent back to England to live with her uncle, Archibald Craven. It's a fucking horrible name.
I know. It's a very
Jesus.
crotchety name.
Played by Colin Firth, who I like.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
I like Colin Firth, so that's
I really like him.
That's good casting.
Yeah,
in my
yeah.
mind. So on his remote country estate deep in the Yorkshire moors. There, she begins to uncover many family secrets, particularly after meeting her sickly cousin Colin, who has been shut away in a wing of the house. Together, these two damaged, slightly misfit children heal each other through their discovery of a wondrous secret garden lost in the grounds of Misselthwaite Manor. Jesus, England. Name your things normal, please. Misselthwaite. Jeez, a magical place of adventure that will change their lives forever. The movie was last adapted for cinema screens in '93 and was one of those ones that it felt like it was constantly in our VHS machine. The remake of The Secret Garden is due to hit cinemas in April 17th, 2020, but in the meantime, you can check out the teaser below. So I've read certain things that people are actually, it's reminding people of the '93 version. So everybody's kind of going back to it.
Yeah.
And kind of reliving their childhood.
Well, The Secret Garden is a childhood. It's a whimsical kind of thing that takes you back, and
it's kind of like Winnie the Pooh in a way.
Yeah, but it's also very okay for me. It's a very sweet story where I don't care if they remake it. If they do it right, that's awesome.
I think that's what a lot of people are feeling.
Yeah.
Is that like, especially Colin Firth's in there. He's a great actor.
I love him.
Lately, man, I don't know where the hell these kids are coming from, but I've seen a handful of movies that has these kid actors who are leads, and they're just knocking it out.
They're amazing.
They're absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
It's like, where are these kids coming from? And if the two kids that are going to be in this movie are anything like those other ones, like, I have high hopes that these kids are going to be just absolutely amazing.
It's going to be a great movie. I think it's going to be a really good movie.
I think people have reinvigorated the love of the original or the '93 remake, because I mean, this thing has been remade several times.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's another thing where you can't be really upset about a remake that's been remade like 4 or 5 times.
And if the remakes are all done well, then yeah. But if you keep remaking something from the original, it's just bad every time.
Yeah, if it keeps getting worse and worse, it's like, just stop now.
Yeah,
just
don't
stop.
do it anymore.
But I hate it when people go, oh, don't remake that movie because the last one was great. You mean the last one that was a remake? Did you see the original one?
Yeah.
Because then it's like, because now I'm not going to listen to you.
Yeah.
Because if your sense of nostalgia is the remake, then shut up. Let other people enjoy the remake, like you enjoyed a remake.
Right. But I think there are certain movies
Sassy
that
head swivel.
you can't remake.
No, absolutely.
But this is definitely one you can.
There are a handful that it's just like, stop it.
Yeah, you can't. But this one you can.
It's the lightning in a bottle situation.
Yep.
This isn't. I mean, this, like you said, you remember the movie.
Yep.
You enjoyed it. So it was a sweet movie, very endearing.
Right.
And if they remake it, make it well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all really that matters.
Like Little Princess. I think it's called Little Princess. The original had Shirley Temple in it.
Oh yeah.
And then the one after that, there was one or two after that.
Shirley Temple was great in that movie.
And they were all great, and I love them all. So I don't really mind that.
As long as the heart is still there,
yeah,
and they don't change too much of it,
yeah,
then I think that's the big.
Exactly. So this is fine that they remake this.
Yeah, and the fact that it's, like I said, the fact that I've read certain things that are bringing people back to the original with kind of new love in their eyes for it.
Yep,
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good sign because I think a lot of people forget that the original still exists just because a remake is made.
Yeah.
But I say that now. My tune might be changing soon. So here's the neutral story. Remakes. We're still in remakes.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the neutral remake story. So Saved by the Bell, which I grew up with. Don't me. Punky Brewster, which I also grew up with.
We'll see how that one goes.
And a new Battlestar Galactica series. There's like 3 or 4 at this point.
See, I don't remember all the ones that you're talking about. I remember
I remember the original one. There was another one.
There was another one after that.
But I could have sworn there was a third one that was really short-lived. But I could be mistaken. It could have been maybe a spin-off that I might be thinking of.
Maybe, yeah.
But I don't remember. Like I said, I'd have to talk to the robot to see if maybe he remembers his people.
See,
yeah, my cousin was in that one. Why?
Saved by the Bell. I didn't grow up with that because I'm older than you, and I thought that was a stupid show.
Okay,
I did. So
to be fair,
so my point is, I don't have any. Remaking a show that I thought was stupid, I don't think is a good idea. But it wasn't something I was nostalgic about.
Right.
You would have been nostalgic about
right.
that.
But I'm saying, the to be fair part was I have watched that show recently.
Yeah.
And it is a garbage. So I do agree with you that it wasn't a perfect show.
Yeah.
In fact, one of my favorite things that I've been watching on the internet lately, somebody's made these short videos on YouTube, and I've been seeing them on Facebook, where Zach Morris is trash.
Oh my gosh.
And they explain and they just take an episode and explain
how he's the worst person.
Why he's the worst person. It's like, oh my God, he was the worst person. He was trash.
Yeah.
Zach Morris was trash. If you can find those videos, find them and watch them because they will open your eyes to how shitty Zach Morris was as a person and as a friend. It's just and the horrible lip syncing when they sang. It's just like, clearly that's not them.
Yeah.
That is clearly not them singing.
It was just all
bad.
All garbage to me.
But there's a nostalgia to it that it's like that's why I enjoy watching the Howard the Duck movie. It's a bad movie, but it has that nostalgia feel to it, and I like it.
Well, I guess I feel you because I love watching Beastmaster and the first Conan.
Beastmaster, such good movies. Those are I love those movies.
I love
the first
them too.
Beastmaster and both Conans.
Yeah.
Although the first Conan is great.
Yeah.
But I feel like I like the second one better.
The snake one?
No, the snake one was the first one.
Oh, that's right. That was the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second one had the basketball player in it.
Oh, yeah. The blonde.
Umbata.
Yeah, and the blonde girl with the big buck teeth. Yeah, and she was
pretty.
Okay.
And that weird glass monster. No, I forget.
Anyways, they were great. They were great.
Those are great movies. Don't remake those.
Yeah,
Although
please.
you tried to remake that Conan movie, even with Jason Momoa, and it wasn't great.
I know.
So stop.
If you couldn't make it great with
Jason
Momoa.
Momoa couldn't do it.
Because he brought back Aquaman from the brink of...
Oh my God, Aquaman was such a lame character.
Yeah.
But Jason Momoa actually made him cool.
I know, right?
Just kind of also like there was, I don't know what his name is, but the actor who does the Green Arrow on TV, on the CW.
I don't know.
Well, he plays the Green Arrow, and the Green Arrow in the comic books is also a very lame character.
Oh, really?
Super lame. He's like Hawkeye, but very lame.
Okay.
He pretty much dresses like a Robin Hood, which is just stupid. And but the guy, like the TV show, made him super cool. I was like, oh my god, Arrow is badass in this TV show. So it's like, okay, you're doing good, guys.
Yeah.
Certain remakes are going right, but
Jason Momoa couldn't
bring back Conan.
Nope.
Sorry.
Should leave it alone.
Leave it alone. Let it
Yep.
die. Let it die. So on Tuesday, NBC Universal revealed a ton of new details about its upcoming streaming service titled Peacock.
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about that name. I mean, I get it.
What network is it?
NBC.
They were the peacock.
The-
Their
I
symbol
don't know-
was a peacock.
Their symbol was the peacock, but I don't know if they were ever identified as the peacock.
Well, their symbol was a peacock,
I
so
know,
it
but-
makes sense that they call it that.
No, it does, but I mean, calling it peacock, I don't know. It just feels, it doesn't roll off the tongue well for me.
Jesus.
Whatever, Heidi. Let me have my opinions.
Okay, fine.
I had my period today. I'm so sensitive.
That's real, people.
That video will be out. Hopefully, by the time this podcast is out, the video is already out.
Yeah, we'll talk about it before we go in the last story, just that way people know about it.
So watch it. Anyway, new streaming service Peacock by NBC's, including the fact that it will feature the return of some TV favorites. Well, maybe not TV favorites for Heidi, but TV favorites for me. Some of them. Saved by the Bell sequel, and a new Battlestar Galactica series, and will house the already announced revival effort for Punky Brewster.
I've heard rumors about that for a year now.
Punky Brewster?
Yeah,
I haven't. This is the first time hearing about it.
No, I heard something. The original actress was mentioning that they were kind of talking about bringing it back, and that she might be maybe the mom.
Yeah,
something.
something Moon Fry.
Yeah.
Her name is so weird.
Yeah.
She had hippie parents.
Yeah, she so did.
Here's the funny thing is that I think I don't know if you're 100% right, but I know her actual daughter is playing Punky Brewster.
Oh.
So maybe that's what you heard?
No, it was her. I remember
Sure.
her talking about that they were going to bring it back and that she might be in it, and maybe she decided not to, and her daughter to. I don't know, but I've been hearing about it for a while. So
It could be. I mean, it's been a year, so
Yeah.
I'm sure things changed,
Yep,
and
yep.
it always happens. So per the Hollywood Reporter, the Saved by the Bell revival will feature at least 2 of the original series stars. Is it really a revival then, if you only have 2 people?
Well, how many people were in it?
Like 6.
Oh, okay. Well, some people might be deceased, so can't really bring them back. But I don't know that you call
Yeah,
it a
all right,
revival.
but I mean, 2 people?
I don't know you call it a revival.
I
if
would
it's
I
two.
would call it a spin-off.
Yeah.
I would call it a spin-off.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to swing that.
I don't know. Well, so the 2 stars that are coming back are Mario Lopez, which is great, and Elizabeth Berkley will reprise their roles as AC Slater and Jesse Spano.
Oh, you're not talking.
respectively.
Okay, I thought you were talking about Punky Brewster. You're talking about.
I'm talking about
Saved by the Bell.
It's
Okay.
the first one.
Okay.
Okay. I know you don't care, Heidi.
No, but we were talking about how she was Punky Brewster.
I know.
was-
Sorry, and then I
You
started
didn't
reading.
segue well, Tim.
My bad.
I was lost.
Sorry,
I
guys.
was lost in the podcast world of universe of lostness.
The ether. It's
The
a lot
ether.
of. Should we have a lost jar? 'Cause
I'm-
you said lost a lot there.
I had a migraine this morning, so my brain is not functioning properly yet.
Okay, sure. That's your excuse.
Fuck you.
All right. So anyway, with other stars including Mark Paul Gosselaar as the beach blonde preppy Zach Morris in talks to potentially return as well. Okay, but still, it feels like a spinoff. Anyway, the new series will take place at a time when Morris has become governor of California and creates a scandal by closing too many low-income schools to ameliorate the situation. He suggests sending to those displaced kids to wealthier schools, including his old alma mater, Bayside High. By the time we see them again, AC and Jesse will be parents, and though the reporting does not specify if they are still together, the series is created by Tracy Wigleaf. Great
So
news.
Zach Morris is going to be a douchebag in this too.
Well, it's about time that they're owning that he's a douchebag.
Yeah.
So it's like, I wonder if they've been watching the Zach Morris's trash videos and they're like, oh my god, he is trash, isn't he?
We should
Let's
make
make
him
him a
trash.
douchebag.
Yeah.
He's the governor of California. He's a douchebag.
That's funny how they made him just a horrible governor.
That's great. I love that. I think, I don't know. We'll see how it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So the return to the realm of Battlestar Galactica will be overseen by Sam Esmail from Mr. Robot, which is a great show. It's a great psychological type show, very dark. And while details are slim on the Straight to Order series, it is expected to take place within the universe of Sci-Fi's 2004 run rather than the 1978 original series. Okay, so they're going back to the first remake, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So that universe.
Okay.
So again,
cool.
sounds like a spinoff.
I don't know. I don't know how you.
It's
I don't know how.
weird.
I don't know how they determine that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the criteria is.
Because the new series will be neither a reboot nor a revival. Okay. Esmail clarified on Twitter, but the show will explore a new story with the mythology while staying true to the spirit of Battlestar. So again, it sounds like both of these shows sound like not remakes because they're not redoing the entire story again.
No,
that's what I consider a remake or a reboot.
They're using the name to do a new story.
Yeah, they're doing a spin-off story.
Yeah, but they're still calling it the original series name.
Yeah, but
I
think they're doing that so that way people like me or you who maybe have seen the original show will go, oh yeah, I know that universe. So let me go back into that even though it's different. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Leave me alone. Trying to make sense of this stupid shit.
I know. I don't know.
My brain's hurting. So BSG fans, this will not be a remake or the Amazing series at Ron D. Moore launched because why mess with perfection? Finally, somebody with a brain.
Yep.
Instead, we'll explore a new story within the mythology while staying true to the spirit of Battlestar. So say we all. Said Sam Esmail in a Twitter post.
I was a big fan of the 70s Battlestar Galactica.
Well, this ain't the 70s, Heidi. This is the 2004s.
Well,
okay. I never saw it. I mean, I've always wanted to see the original one.
Okay.
I mean, it's super. I understand it's going to be super cheesy.
Yeah.
And the effects are not going to be great. But
No,
that's
to
why I
put
like watching old Doctor Who.
Yeah, you have to put your
Because
mind in that.
It's the stories that I enjoy.
Yeah, exactly.
I can kind of. This is why I like bad movies. Because even though the effects are shitty and all these things, sometimes the story is actually really good. Not always.
No.
There's a percentage where that happens.
I don't know how much that's true.
There's a small. There's like a 5
you
to
just
10%.
like garbage
There's like 5 to
television.
10%. There's like 5 to 10%.
Okay, that's
Of those garbage
maybe
movies.
5. Okay.
All right. Meanwhile, the Punky Brewster revival is still just a pilot at this stage, but it will feature Soleil Moon Frye, haha, that is her name, returning to the eponymous role, this time as a single mother of 3 who runs into a young girl who reminds her of herself at the age when the original series took place. Steve and Jim Amajita will write and executive produce the pilot, which was first revealed to be in the works in June. Oh, wow. Peacock, which will be an ad-supported platform, will launch in April 2020. So the Punky Brewster one actually sounds interesting.
Yeah, I might watch.
Because
check that out.
she's a mother of children. She's already a grown person. She has children, and she meets another child who probably has no parents, has no home, and I wonder if she adopts her.
Yeah, well,
it's what it sounds like.
I'm more apt to watch that and maybe the Battlestar Galactica thing.
I'm curious because seeing it in that universe. I mean, it's an interesting universe.
Yeah.
So seeing new stories come out of that universe would be really cool. I know who I wish they would do that with. Firefly.
Oh.
I wish they would do that with Firefly. I would love that universe. But I would love that universe with the same characters, but I would love that universe even with different characters. That would be so cool. You know what I mean? That would be really cool.
Yeah,
just to see.
I don't know. That's still a
like I would like a
spin-off
spin-off of that.
Yeah, you'd have to do a spin-off of them on that planet.
Well, they weren't on one planet.
Yeah, they were. That's where they buried people.
No. You talking about the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay. Yeah. I meant like the series itself.
Yeah, but the movie wrapped up the series. So
well.
No. But,
Too many people died.
I
shouldn't have cried that much.
I know.
It's bullshit.
I cried a lot.
Fucking stupid. The pilot. Fucking dinosaurs. Thought he was fine, and then a fucking thing comes through the window. How do you do that to us? And then his wife is all angry, and I'm crying because she's fucking mad.
Wow.
We're reliving this whole thing over again.
I know.
It's pissing me off.
All right, get to the one that's going to be...
I have gone through my periods.
I know. Your cramps. You've gone through your cramps, too.
I know, my cramp. It is definitely not the same.
No.
But I have gone through a window that I wish I had never gone through. My God. All right. And here's the bad one. Remakes. The bad one. I'm just going to... entertainment.com by Ruth Keenan. I don't know. Writes this story. Here, nobody wants a Princess Bride remake, including Jamie Lee Curtis and star Carrie Ellis.
Yeah.
Carrie Ellis does not want a fucking remake.
No.
Nobody does. Nobody wants it. I have seen so much people online. There is a hilarious picture I gotta find. I'm gonna send it to you. Of it's like the Knights of the Round Table, and everybody has their swords in.
Yeah.
And each sword has like the Republicans, Democrats, Catholics, atheists, and all these things. And it's like, and in the middle is nobody wants Princess Bride. Everybody's joining forces because nobody wants a Princess Bride remake.
This is a lightning in the bottle thing. You can't remake this.
This is the lightning in the bottle that we talked about. This is the thing. This is one of those few movies that you just should not touch.
No.
The magic was so palpable. You can palp it. You can palp that magic. Know what that means? You can palp it.
It's just tangible, Tim.
It's
just tangible.
It's just tangible.
No, you can't remake it.
No.
It's not. It's, you know what?
It was perfect. It was a perfect movie the way it was.
And it's still
perfect.
But what I'm saying is it's transcending generations. People still watch it and enjoy it.
It absolutely still holds up.
Exactly the way it was. It's very similar to Gone with the Wind. You can't remake that.
Right.
You can't remake that magic. You just can't. Another one is a Christmas one with Jimmy Stewart. I know they've tried to remake it.
I was going to say Life is Beautiful, but that's not right.
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life.
You can't remake something that was magical. Jimmy Stewart had that magic. It was
Jimmy Stewart was really good. Yeah. Jimmy Stewart was just really good.
There's just movies you can't remake because you can't capture that magic again.
Right. Not everything can be The Christmas Carol.
No.
Because with A Christmas Carol, they've remade those movies so many times. Everybody has a favorite Christmas Carol. Yep. Everybody has their own favorite one. You love the Albert Finney one.
Yep.
I like it, but my favorite is I do absolutely love the Muppets Christmas Carol.
That's my second favorite.
I fucking love that movie.
That's my second favorite.
And
then the third is the 1927 version, but that's just me. I'm a connoisseur of the Christmas Carol.
You love the Christmas Carol.
I do.
But there are so many different things where it's like I even like the Jim Carrey one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Really
yeah,
good,
that was a good one.
Really
yeah,
trippy and
yep.
Everybody has their own favorite Christmas Carol movies. So that's one of those movies that you can just remake and remake and remake.
Yeah.
And you can do like Scrooged with Bill Murray.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great one.
Yeah.
It's a great version of that movie.
Yeah.
That's told. It's the same story, but it's told in such a different way.
Yeah.
You can't do that with everything.
No.
You can't
Princess Bride, you cannot. They're just going to bastardize it.
You cannot do that with The Princess Bride. You absolutely cannot. The casting alone for that movie was perfect.
It was beautiful.
The casting alone was perfect for that movie, and you're not going to get another Fezzik.
Nope.
There's no way you're going to get another guy like Andre the Giant who had that much just heart on screen.
Oh my God, I know.
He was just you couldn't not love that character.
I know it.
Big, goofy, he was smiling in every single scene he was in. He was just like, oh my God, like he was just such a happy guy.
Yeah.
Inigo Montoya, you're not going to get another fucking Inigo Montoya. There's no way in hell. Mostly because, and especially when you have actors who put real life emotions into characters. Yeah. You're not going to get the same style of acting. I love this story of the actor who played Inigo Montoya. His father had passed away just before making that movie.
Yep.
And when he was fighting the spoiler alert, when he was fighting for the new people, when he was fighting the six-fingered man and he was yelling at him to give him back his father, in an interview he said he was yelling at the cancer that killed his father.
Yeah.
And it was like that's why that scene always makes me tear up. That is why that scene always does that, because there's a real emotional connection between the character and the actor, where very, very few times can you do that. What are you gonna? Is that gonna be part of your casting? Did your father die recently? Sorry, we can't get you then as Inigo Montoya. Or are you just gonna get a very handsy Spanish guy to be like, I am Inigo Montoya? Go fuck yourself. Don't do it again, please. For the love of Christ.
This is where I don't understand why they're remaking shows that in movies. Just come up with something new.
Yeah, there are certain things where it's like you have to look at you can't just look at the fan base and go, well, that movie made a lot of money, so let's do it again.
That's what it feels like they're doing.
That's what it feels like. You have to look at the performances of the actors. I mean, if the performances of the actors can be redone, and it's like, okay, it's an old enough movie. There wasn't enough emotion in there from that actor. There are plenty of actors that could have done that better. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's when you do a remake. It's like, oh my God, this person was like every time they redo the Joker. That's another thing where everybody has their favorite Joker.
Yeah.
Everybody has their favorite Joker.
There's a new one coming out.
Mm-hmm. That looks amazing. That looks absolutely amazing. And everybody has their favorite guy because every actor kind of goes into that character in a different way. How do you go into Fezzik or Inigo Montoya or Prince Humperdinch or Buttercup or any of these characters the same way?
There's just movies that you can't remake.
Right.
I'm waiting. I'm so tired with all these remakes already.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I remember when I first told you about this story, and I said they're thinking of remaking a movie that we all love. And you gave me like 2 or 3 that you thought it was going to be. One of them was The Goonies.
Yeah, I said they better not redo The Goonies.
And the other one was, do you remember? I don't.
I thought it was Princess Bride.
No, that was your third guess. And I was like,
oh.
And you were like, no. It was like your first guess was The Goonies.
Yeah.
Your second guess, I forget. But yeah.
16 Candles.
16 Candles, that's right.
Yeah.
I was like,
better not mess that one up either for me.
No, they didn't do 16 Candles either, but they're thinking of doing The Princess Bride. This is quite possibly one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, mine too.
Absolutely loved it. It's insanely quotable.
Yeah.
There are moments where I've seen this movie so many times that I still laugh at.
Yeah.
There are still moments where I tear up. There are still moments where like I hate people, and it's so. There are scenes that I know are coming up that I'm anticipating, but I still get a kick out of them because they're just so memorable and they touch something.
Yeah, it's the same for me with Goonies. That's a huge.
The Goonies are so
and
good.
16 Candles. 16 Candles is one of my all-time favorites.
I don't have as much of an emotional connection there with that one, but
I was a kid of the 80s, so I grew up when these movies were coming out. And the Goonies especially, I remember going to the movie theater with my mom and my brother and all their friends, and we were kind of like the misfit Goonies of our little, white trash area we lived in. And because we were all little white trash kids. And, but we thought we were the Goonies. We were the Goonies of...
Yeah, you had an emotional connection to those characters.
Exactly.
Because you saw yourself in those characters.
Yeah, and 16 Candles, I was kind of always the odd chick, kind of still am. And, I always wanted, when I was younger, I always wanted the coolest, hottest guy to be that nice guy, which they never were. They were always douchebags. Yeah. But I always wanted that story to be true for, not necessarily for me, just it was something that like, oh, that's so true. That's so neat. that's so good. But
that's one of those movies that like just chunk.
I know.
Like, how do you recast those kids?
But you can't. There's, like we've said, they're lightning in a bottle. You can't.
Yeah,
you can't recapture that.
There are so many movies that are just they're lightning in a bottle where they just. Let me read the article.
Right.
That I haven't even started yet.
I'm depressed.
So Jamie Lee Curtis thinks the idea of the Princess Bride remake is inconceivable. Can't get that guy again. Well, he's still alive, but
no,
can't get that character. After Sony...
He's old.
Yeah, but he can still do it.
Yeah.
But he still does voice work. But anyway, after Sony Pictures Entertainment CEO Vince Aqueda remarked that a remake of the beloved 1987 movie could be in the works, the actress shared her dismay at the idea on Twitter. "Oh, really?" wrote Curtis. "Well, I married the six-fingered man. Obviously, why we have stayed together for 35 years, and there is only one, The Princess Bride, and it's William Goldman." And at Rob Reiners, she then added a quote from the movie to really drive home the message. "Life is pain, Highness. Anyone who says differently is selling something."
Oh, I like that. That's when he was the Black Pirate Roberts.
Black Pirate Roberts, yeah. When she didn't know it was her dearest Wesley.
Yeah. As you
wish. The next one flies. Because where I come from, there are penalties for lying. God, I love that fucking movie.
I know.
I'm gonna go home and watch it tonight.
I know.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go home and watch it. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Enjoy its purity.
I know.
It's such a great movie to cry
I'm
when
glad
Inigo
she
Montoya is like,
commented on
"I want my father back, you son of a bitch."
You son of a bitch.
Because me and him have something in common now.
I know you really do, yeah.
So I love him.
Blue too.
Yeah.
But I don't think he cares about that show. He's a robot.
He should care about that movie.
I know he should, but he doesn't.
He's like, Prince Humperdinch has I like his plans. He's a smart guy. I like what he's doing.
Blue doesn't like the same stuff I like.
But Curtis, who is married to the Princess Bride's Count Rugen, Christopher Guest, wasn't alone in her anguish at the thought of a remake. First off, I didn't know they were married, so that's cool.
Yeah, that is cool. I didn't know.
I didn't know that either.
I knew he looked familiar, but I didn't know where, because I think he's pretty much all white hair now.
Christopher, yes, he is.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
I thought he looks familiar, but
he does a lot of like those weird. There's a lot of like weird movies he's in where he plays like very odd characters.
Yeah.
He's a character actor through and through,
and
he's so good at what he does. He's very funny. He's got like very good dry pan sense of humor, which is why he was so good at as Count Rugen.
Yeah.
He was so good as Count Rooney because he had a bit of like maniacal sense of humor about him, where he wasn't like in your face evil. There was a bit of, like, oh, I'm gonna play around with, like, he was a cat playing with a mouse.
Yeah.
Clearly was when he had Wesley in his machine. I feel like Wesley today.
Yes. You should.
Heidi's my six-fingered man.
Nobody's going to get that until they see the video. So we talk about it, but go on.
But yeah. So actor Cary Elwes, I never know how to pronounce his last name. Elwes. Elwes is how I always pronounce it. Who played the lead role of Wesley, I love him, in the film, also had some thoughts to share on the matter. This is what he tweeted. There's a shortage of perfect movies in this world, he wrote on Twitter. It would be a pity to damage this one.
I love it.
Yes.
That is so true. That is well said.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, there really is a shortage of perfect movies.
Yeah.
Why ruin it?
Yeah.
Now, I hate it when people say this is going to ruin my childhood. Now, technically, it doesn't ruin the original movie because you could always go back and watch the original movie.
Yeah.
But why? But I still do have those questions of why.
Well,
why do it again? Why remake it?
I hate when they say, well, we want to make it for a new generation. It's not the same thing, though.
It's not the same. You know what you should do for the new generation?
Let them watch the original movie.
I was going to say, clean up the visuals.
Yeah.
Make it prettier. I would gladly go back to the movie theater and watch this movie for $10.
Yeah.
Like, cleaned out, the picture quality is like top notch, and the sound is revamped, and everything's, all the technical stuff is redone.
Yeah.
Do that. That's a good way to remake this movie.
Yeah.
Just do the technical stuff. Keep all the same actors, all the same characters. Just make the sound quality better and make the visuals better, and then put it back on the big screen, and I will gladly go back to the theater and rewatch it.
Yeah, so would I.
I would, and I think a lot of people would.
Yeah,
I
I
would
do too.
100%. I would be
because the next generation is, well, if I had children, they'd be my children.
Yeah.
And I would take them to go see it.
Yeah.
Because it's something from my childhood. Now, 16 Candles and Goonies, they had music from that time.
There are, yes, there are songs
still,
that
the 80s music, 80s fashion, that's all coming back. I literally walked through Target the other day, and I'm going past the kids area, and I'm thinking to myself, this looks like shit I wore in the 80s. Seriously.
Yeah, the fashion's coming back, man. The 80s had...
Just say no to parachute pants, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, yeah. I was going to say
Especially in New England.
The 80s arguably had the best fashion.
Or the worst, depends on how you look at it.
Well, the parachute pants.
But, yeah, those
weren't great.
The parachute pants never flattered anybody. Trust me, I tried. In California, and they were still too cold.
Yeah.
But the point is, it's all coming back around, and not just for, what are those people they call?
Hipsters?
Hipsters. Not just for hipsters. I mean,
doesn't matter anything because
my sister, she I think she bought some vinyls.
Records, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
that's another thing that's coming back.
Yeah, I
vinyl.
actually have vinyl. I have Purple Rain.
Wow.
Top Gun. Oh,
the
yeah.
soundtrack to Top Gun?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, that's a great
hell
soundtrack.
yeah.
That is a hell of a good soundtrack.
Yeah, and if I could, when you listen to vinyl, there's just some nostalgia to it.
I love vinyl.
But I think my sister went and bought a bunch of 80s
vinyls?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And she loves listening to it. So I think that the music comes around. I think you could really revamp 16 Candles, just like you were saying with that. Even the Goonies. The
just
Goonies
clean
would
it
be
up.
great. I would love kids to see the Goonies because the
That would be so
Goonies.
awesome.
Okay, just off topic. There is a movie coming out called Good Boys or Bad Boys. It's by the people that did Superbad. It's like
Bad Boys.
Bad Boys. It looks hilarious.
Absolutely.
It looks
so funny.
hilarious. But the thing is it's if you look at the Goonies, when they saw the brother kiss the girl, it was just like ooh. And then when you watch the Bad Boys,
oh yeah, there's
like porn references.
Yeah, they're like singing, they're swinging on a sex swing.
Yeah,
and they're
which is hilarious.
Which is very fun because it's like a fish out of water type situation where they don't understand these because they're kids. But the humor is very different. Absolutely,
and I would like kids to see the Goonies for the humor that we.
Yeah.
It was adventurous. It was.
Oh my God! Yeah.
It was friendship.
Yeah.
It was just really beautiful.
In my opinion, they've already remade the Goonies in Stranger Things.
See, I never saw that.
No, it's a great show.
I never saw that.
It's a phenomenal show. I think you would enjoy it.
I know.
But
people keep telling me that.
But it captures what the Goonies had.
Yeah.
There was these misfit kids who were friends and who were, they have this really wacky, insane adventure that's like completely out of this world. And it's just so well written. It's so well made. The kids are great. And it's like, that's what the Goonies was for its time.
Mm-hmm.
It was this like great,
But
great
it was a
flick where it was like.
But they made a different story with the same energy, which is great.
Well, yeah, that's what I
You
mean.
just can't
yeah,
remake
I'm not
the
saying
Goonies.
it's a direct remake.
No, but
that's the closest thing to a remake that I would accept.
And I think that's a great way to do it.
Right? Yeah.
Take
the essence of it.
Yeah.
And put it in another casing.
Exactly.
Just do that. You don't have to take the casing and then put new essence in it.
Yeah.
That's the problem that I think people do with these remakes.
Yeah.
They go, oh, here's the Ghostbusters casing. Let's just put a new essence of it inside of it, and the essence is going to be women. It's like, all right. On paper, that makes sense. Who do you have? Oh my God, 4 amazingly funny actresses. This is going to be great. And then what the fuck did you do to this movie? This is
you're the worst rating.
This is not a good movie.
Yeah.
The effects, are okay, but they're not great. Like, I'm a purist when it comes to effects. I love practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
If you can make a bodysuit or make like a puppet, do that. I'd rather see that all day than. I think that's why I love the new series, the Dark Crystal series, because for the most part it's still puppetry. It's still practical stuff. The magic is still there.
Yeah.
Even though it's not a remake, it's a TV show based off of the movie.
Yeah.
So the essence is still there, and it ties that universe together.
Right.
Don't remake The Princess Bride.
Because why?
Just because. Honestly, I don't understand why. I don't get it. Like, there's no explanation on why they're doing it.
Is there a big outcry from the next generation?
That's what I mean. Yeah.
They want the Princess Bride remade. I doubt it. It just really feels like reaching.
It really does.
It really feels
I
as
don't
if
understand
people
it.
are looking around going, how can we make money?
I
Let's
think-
look back in time at stuff that made lots of
Yeah.
money and pull that into our
I think the
days
thing
now.
is that like it kind of goes with that where with the home box office money that this movie made, it
Yeah.
became a cult classic. It became a very beloved movie. Clearly,
Yeah.
The fact that there's this much outcry, it became this beloved movie. So
I almost wonder if these studios don't come up with these ideas and then put it out there just to see what people would think, and if people if there's a huge outcry and they're like, okay, well, we weren't really thinking about that.
yeah, that's just a rumor.
That's just a rumor.
That's just a thought.
Okay,
that we
guys,
had.
we're not doing that because that's not going to be good.
You know what? I can completely see studios doing that. I
Yeah.
can completely 100% see studios doing that,
Yeah.
where they're like, "Hey, we're thinking of making a movie." Oh, accidentally, putting the spoiler out there in the universe, and then people seeing it and going, "Oh my God, that would be awesome!" Or "That's the stupidest thing ever."
Yeah.
Okay, we're not gonna do that.
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
People fucking hate it.
They hate that idea. That's not going to
People
make
are-
money.
Yeah. So, adapted from the 1973 novel of the same name, which I actually want to read. I actually want to read that book. The Princess Bride tells the story of Wesley, Carrie Ellis, who sets out on a quest to rescue Princess Buttercup, Robin Wright, after she is kidnapped in an attempt to force her into marriage with Prince Humperdinck, Chris Sarandon. In addition to guests, the movie also stars Mandy Patinkin, Wallace Shawn, Andre the Giant, Billy Crystal, and Fred Savage. EW reunited the star-studded cast in 2011. The star power of the original movie alone seems reason enough to hold off on a remake. But according to Vincent Queta, some big names are eager to be a part of a retelling. Tell those big names to be a part of a different fucking movie. Oh, I'm sorry, because you want to be in this movie. Because you missed the boat when the movie first came out, you weren't an
Yeah.
actor yet, and now you want to shoehorn yourself into an already beloved universe. Go fuck yourself.
So why? Who does it say?
It
who?
doesn't say who. I'm glad it doesn't either. We want to remake this show or that show, the CEO told Variety in a profile about Norman Lear, who produced the movie. Very famous people whose names I won't use, but they want to redo The Princess Bride.
So what?
Tell those people to go fuck themselves. I don't give a shit.
So what? That somebody famous wants to
Some
something.
famous people want to do this movie. I don't care. Sorry. Just because you're famous doesn't mean you get everything you want. It doesn't mean you get everything that you ask for. Sorry, guys, that's not how life works. I don't know. So
It
there's.
just seems like a really stupid.
It's a just the thought of it pissed people off.
It makes me mad.
Which is actually absolutely hilarious to me that would happen.
Yeah, it makes me mad.
So there's the remakes that are happening potentially. Who knows?
Nobody.
We had the good, we had the bad, we had the ugly.
Yeah. And The Princess Bride is
Is
the
definitely
ugly.
the ugly.
Yeah.
The bad is more neutral, but whatever. Because
Yeah, some of it I don't care
don't
about.
really care if they do make them. Cool. If not,
Princess Bride, I'll never see.
Princess Bride. I mean, I hate that I'm even saying this. Can go fuck itself.
A remake.
The remake.
Yeah.
The original. I love you. Be a person so I can marry you.
It's disturbing.
Shut up.
Sorry.
They would be my age.
Yes, I won't yuck your yum.
It was 1987. I was born in 86. They would be 32 years old.
Man, 87 was such a good year.
Yeah, Princess Bride came out.
I know, but there was a lot of good music then, and it was just a good time in my teenage years.
Yeah, you must have had a great, just pop culture wise.
Oh yeah,
you had a great fucking year.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you had a great decade.
I went to great concerts.
Oh my god, the concerts that you. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I am jealous of that.
I know. I saw some awesome, amazing.
Pretty much most of the music that I love is from that era.
Yeah, I saw
most, if not all, the movies I love are from that era.
I know, because that was the era. That was my era. But 85 to 87 was really good music. I went to see a lot of bands. It was mostly rock music.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's.
But a lot of good movies came out then too.
So on to the next story. Kind of vindication here.
Yeah.
Kind of vindication. Hopefully it happens. Ironically enough, I'm wearing a T-shirt from one of the companies that is kind of an asshole about this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they do loot boxes. They're the most, but they're all cosmetic.
Oh, before we go into that.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So we shot a video that I'm gonna be putting up probably tomorrow night.
Yeah. If you're listening to this podcast, the video is probably already up.
Yeah, if you're listening to this podcast, it's already up.
Yeah.
Basically, Tim and I were having a conversation about Bill Burr.
Bill Burr
He has a new
Netflix special, which is
special.
Hilarious. Watch it.
It's really
fucking amazing.
And we got to talking about how he mentions that men can't be feminists, which I completely agree with. And Tim had mentioned, because we don't know what it's like to go through the things that ladies go through, such as, periods and cramps and that stuff.
Birth and all those things.
Yeah, and I don't know who brought it up, but I said to you, have you seen those videos of the guys that are going through the simulation of cramps?
Yeah, you mentioned it, yeah.
And you said, I think you said yes, and you go, you know what I would do for the podcast, and my ear perked up.
Oh, yeah.
And you said, I know I'm going to hate myself for saying this, but I would do that on the podcast. And I thought,
as another video, yeah.
I wonder how much those would cost.
Oh, well, I asked that. I said, well, how much would those things cost anyway? And then you wheeled around like a supervillain. $25, and I was like, oh shit. I have to do it.
I was hoping it was more than that. So I ordered it Amazon Prime. Came in
like 2 days later.
Yesterday.
Fuck.
And Tim went and I went first.
Right. Yeah. Heidi went first to test it out to make sure that it was accurate to what the cramp pains would feel like.
So at the beginning of the video,
she calibrated it, so to speak.
So at the beginning of the video, I pop it up I go up 2 and I go up to 18.
Yes.
And I sit there and I'm like, this is really uncomfortable.
This is really uncomfortable. You wouldn't know if she didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Because she was so stoic and very statuesque as like, I am on 18 and I am very uncomfortable. It's like, Jesus.
But
Did the robot already replace you? There's no emotion.
I know. But to be fair, I'm a woman who goes through this every month. So
right.
I have a high and I have a pretty high tolerance of pain.
But I was at least expecting like an eye twitch or like, this is pretty uncomfortable or just, whatever.
I did this.
Oh, did you? You moved your shoulder a little bit? Okay.
I twisted my head and I went, this is uncomfortable.
Okay, sure. Well, I'll take that then. All right.
Anyways.
Yeah. She reacted.
Slightly. And then Tim slowly went up to 18 and it was...
Slowly.
So hilarious. And that's the video.
Yes, my journey is...
very different than mine.
So different. Oh my God, so different. And it's as much as I like Heidi's like Heidi says in the video and like Heidi says generally, I'm not one of those kind of guys. I tend to try to understand people and culture and even sexes in a way. So I wasn't like, oh, your periods must be super whatever the hell.
Yeah, you're not.
Like, I understood that women have to go through horrible shit every month and throughout their life, and childbirth is not an easy task, and I completely appreciate those types of things. But this gave me a new appreciation to just weekly cramps.
Yeah.
Or monthly cramps, I should say.
Yeah.
And it's traumatizing. I want to go home. I want to lay in bed. I want to eat ice cream.
I'll tell you, Tim is not one. There are men out there who are not sympathetic to women at all.
No, not at all. Yeah.
They think we're exaggerating or whatever, and they're super douchey about it.
Yeah, I try not to be. I mean,
and you are not that kind of guy.
And
so.
I joke around on the. I do joke around on the podcast
Yeah,
sometimes, and I do make those jokes. But Heidi knows that.
Yeah, Tim and I are very good friends, so he makes jokes.
I make a lot of sexist jokes towards Heidi specifically.
Yeah.
Because I know she gets the joke and just to kind of push her.
And it doesn't. Yeah, and
I know it doesn't affect her in any.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah, because she knows she knows it's coming from a stupid man who clearly doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
So Tim has a new perspective on how women suffer every month. Yeah. He even mentions that he would never leave the house on the first day.
Oh my God, never! I wouldn't leave bed.
I know.
Oh my God, I would starve the entire day because I wouldn't be able to get up to get food. Yeah. I'd just be like, I'm not moving. Yeah. It sucks.
Yeah,
it sucks. In the castle of pain in which women have to deal with, I peeked through the window.
Yeah.
And it was a shitty peek.
Yeah,
I popped my head in and was like, "What's going on in here?" And I fucking lopped it right off.
Yep.
There was a booby trap. Didn't appreciate it.
It was not good. Tim was in a lot of pain.
It sucked.
And
I'd like to say it snuck up on me, but it didn't. It was there from the beginning.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah, for pretty much when you plugged in.
Well, the plug was like, I was completely, I don't think that's on camera, which sucks.
No, I know it's not.
I was just surprised.
Yeah.
There wasn't pain there. It was just like, oh shit, it's on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird feeling.
Which kind of like, oh my God.
It's a weird.
Especially where the things are located.
Yeah. Because women get cramps in their back, their lower back, and obviously where their tubes are and everything.
Yeah.
And actually women get cramps really bad in right over there.
Yeah.
And
originally the talk was that I was going to do that as well.
Yeah, and
I was going to put it in the undercarriage. But that was my first plan, and then Heidi thankfully talked me out of that.
Yeah.
And was like, well, let's do it normally first.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, if you feel like you can do it, then we'll do that. And I made my decision in the video.
Yeah.
That shit was not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
No, no.
Yeah.
I understand enough. I don't need to understand that much.
So check out the video. We'll make sure it's all over social media. It's pretty hilarious. I was really surprised that Tim did it. And actually, after we got done with the chocolate challenge, he said the next thing we would be doing, I would have to do. But technically, I do it every month.
Technically, yeah. Heidi does it every month. So I guess fair is fair.
Fair is fair. So check it out.
But the next one Heidi's doing.
Yeah, check it. Yeah, whatever that's going to be.
Unless it's something that's going to kill Heidi, then I have to do it again.
Yeah, because it depends on what Tim comes up with, because it's always his
It's
idea.
always my idea.
I know.
I am a masochist and I hate myself.
You always...
Clearly.
You always say that you'll do it. And
I do.
And I am so willing
I'm
to pay
just
for
so
it.
like fair game with things. I do it for
awesome.
I do it for the views.
Does it for the views, so make sure you view. Anyways,
please view.
Yeah, make it worth it.
Make my pain not in vain.
So we'll be putting that up. Just check it out.
Yeah.
On to the next story.
So there's our segue. On to the next story.
Yep.
That's not really much of a segue, but here's engagement.com by an article. Georgina Torbay wrote the UK officials call for loot boxes to be regulated like gambling. So we've talked about loot boxes and stuff like that so often.
Yeah.
And if you're starting to get tired of it, I'm sorry, but
They're
they keep doing it. They keep doing it.
Yeah, it's a big topic.
These companies don't learn. And as a gamer, it's like, every time I see these stories, it always makes me a little happier. So it's like, oh my God, finally. Like somebody is actually looking into it, doing whatever. So they're thinking of regulating loot boxes like gambling that would block the sale of those games to minors.
Now, this is specifically in England.
Specifically, the UK officials.
Okay.
So UK, which I think is England, and I think other parts of UK, I don't know what.
Northern Ireland, Wales, Scotland.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I am not very good with geology.
I've been to some of those areas.
You've been to some of those. I haven't been to any of those areas. So anyway, regulators in both the US and the UK have been investigating the loot box mechanics found in many games to see if they should be considered gambling. I think they should be. Mm-hmm. But that's just me, a consumer. The UK government's Department for Digital Culture, Media and Sport Committee has now released a report which condemns a quote-unquote lack of honesty and transparency from gaming industry representatives about the potential harms of game mechanics like loot boxes. The report also recommends that games containing loot boxes should be regulated as gambling and not be sold to children in particular, making games, which this isn't in the article, but in my opinion, making those games rated M for mature.
Yes.
So that way, because at this point, rated M for mature games, usually they're filled with violence or drug use or whatever, those are not sold to minors. And a lot of stores follow that rule. Not all of them, but there are a lot of stores that follow that rule of, I cannot sell this game to this fucking 10-year-old. So,
which is smart.
Which is good, because you wouldn't let a 12-year-old walk into an R-rated movie.
No.
By himself. You know what I
No.
mean? If his parent is there and they think that this kid is old enough to play this game or watch the movie, and they've done their research, which most parents haven't, but they've done their research and they're like, I think my kid is old enough brain-wise to understand this game, then I will allow him to buy this game.
Right.
But otherwise, your kid walks into a store alone, he's not getting it. And I think if that's what they're going to do with games like with that contain loot boxes, I 100% agree that that's a good idea. Because there are some adults that can't handle things like that.
Well, yeah.
Let alone
they
kids.
have addictions.
That's
to
what
gambling.
I mean. Let alone kids whose minds are still evolving.
Yeah.
And still growing. And they're growing around these horrible mechanics that are creating these horrible addiction to gambling. So as evidence for the recommendation, the report points to a 2018 Gambling Commission survey, which found that 31% of 11 to 16-year-olds have paid money or used in-game items to open loot boxes.
Wait, 30 what?
31% of 11 to 16-year-olds.
Jesus.
Children
Yeah.
have paid money, real-world
little
money, or
kids.
in-game currency to open up loot boxes.
I can't even fathom that when I was that age.
No.
Even when I was 16. But I wasn't.
Like I said, the only thing that I can relate that to is, and we talked about this in the last one, were those Topps trading cards.
Yeah.
But that was a physical thing that I had in my hand.
Yeah. But we didn't have these kind of mechanics when I
No,
when
not in
I
video
was younger
games.
when we were playing video games.
Not in stuff like that.
No.
So
We didn't have these kind of surprise mechanics.
these surprise mechanics. So it also singled out the FIFA series for particularly egregious use of loot. Damn it, Heidi! I had a good read going.
Sorry.
It also signaled out the FIFA series for particularly egregious use of loot box mechanics, both because Electronic Arts, EA, fucking EA, says roughly half of the money the company makes from extra digital content comes from the loot box like Ultimate Team mode in FIFA. Half of the money
Wow.
that these games make come from surprise mechanics.
Jesus.
Yeah, but there's nothing nefarious about that.
No.
No. And because rewards earned in one game cannot be transferred over to the next game in the series.
That's shitty.
So, FIFA 2018, all the money that you paid for my team, when you get the new 2019 FIFA, because you morons are buying the next FIFA, you're doing it all over again. You're creating another team. You're giving them more money to unlock the same players that you had last year. And I think too many people, now not to say that not all of them are, because I'm sure that there are people who play Madden and FIFA and NBA and all these other games are starting to realize, why am I having to buy these packs again? I already made a team last year.
Yeah.
Why do I have to make a whole new team? Why can't you just transfer that team over? Well, because if you're allowed to transfer that team over, you're not going to pay for new characters. You're not going to pay for loot boxes to open up to potentially get new characters. You're not going to get those types of things. So half the revenue that this game makes,
They're not gonna
EA
make
won't
it.
be making again.
Yeah, exactly.
So why appease the customer when I can just make money?
Yeah, that's pretty much what
And
it
the
is.
problem is that there's enough quote-unquote whales out there
Yep.
that are feeding these EA fat cats. It's a term I never thought I'd have to use. These fat cats up in EA, all this money to literally play the same thing they played last year and to do the same thing they did last year. So the report gives an example of a gamer who typically spent £800 to £1,000 a year on FIFA because of this
Jesus.
cycle.
Jeez.
Yeah, I believe that's the pound sign, right?
Yes.
Or euros. I think it's pounds. Yeah,
It's pounds.
it's pounds. Thank you. So, £800 to £1,000 a year for one game. to open up these boxes and stuff. That is ridiculous.
That is insane.
That is addiction.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. That's what addiction looks like. That you don't even think about it. You just spent $1,000.
Not even $1,000 because the pound is.
Well, yeah,
not,
I don't know what the.
So roughly $1,200 to $1,300, depending on where the pound fluctuates with the dollar.
So even more money.
If they pay
US dollar.
£1,000, it's at roughly $1,250.
So that's insane.
If they do 800, it's roughly $1,000.
So $1,000 to $1,200.
Yeah, $1,250
in US.
Yeah,
that's how much somebody is probably spending.
Yeah,
that's a UK price.
Yep.
And you can't tell me there aren't people in the United States of America
America.
who aren't doing the same stupid shit.
I'm sure that they're spending even more.
Oh, absolutely.
People in England tend to be more conservative than in America.
Is that true?
The bigger in America we want it all.
The bigger the better, yeah.
The bigger the better.
Yeah,
the more the merrier. That's
that is true.
All of our mottos. So our food's is bigger.
More big.
More bigger.
It's more bigger.
It's more bigger.
It's more bigger.
I might could.
I might could have a more bigger steak.
That's how they say it now south.
I feel like I would fit in pretty good.
I know, but no, I think that here we're more they're more conservative.
They're more conservative, yeah. We're more just like, yeah, I'll spend whatever.
Yeah,
whatever to make me happy. I'm not going to think of the problems that'll happen later on.
Yeah,
that's why we're such a fat country. So the committee acknowledged that there isn't definitive evidence that using loot boxes can turn people into problem gamblers. Well, of course there isn't that kind of evidence. It's a study, but I mean, there are things that you can follow. There are clues that you can look at to be like, this is behavior that somebody who's addicted to gambling does. The behavior goes hand in hand. This is obviously that. So, but points to studies in teenagers which show that they are more vulnerable to developing problem gambling habits from loot box play than adults are.
Okay, that makes sense.
Which makes because they're especially if they're young teenagers, their brains are still kind of gathering all this information.
Well, teenagers are the worst, anyways.
Yeah, they're idiots.
They're just.
I remember being an idiot.
They're going through so many chemical things. They're just the worst.
Oh my God, their bodies are just constantly changing.
They smell. They're all the worst. But
right.
No, I'm just saying. I'm not a fan of teenagers. They're usually mouthy and just rude and pimply.
Yeah, they're very.
They're
like monsters.
And they think they know everything. Yeah, they're kind of like the troll under
like gremlins.
Yeah, yes.
They're like gremlins. When they're
like
children, like Ollie, they're little mogwais. They're adorable. You get them wet, you feed them too much, they become gremlins.
Yeah, they become those crazy monster.
Right? They multiply. They become more gremlins.
Yeah.
Stop it.
They all hang together and have weird hair.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I'm not a fan.
That's such a weird one.
They
all hang together and have weird hair.
do,
it's a weird thing to pinpoint.
What's all the hair like right in the face like this all the time?
That's the emo style.
Oh, okay.
It's a specific style.
All right.
Not all teenagers.
I guess in the 80s they kind of did that.
Yeah, I was going to say the flock of seagulls.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I believe that's where that started.
I take the hair thing back. Actually, no, I don't. Their hair today is horrible.
So
you need a high and tight. I'm just saying. Looks better. Go ahead.
All right. You tell me you need a haircut? So the issue isn't that loot box mechanics turn people into gambling addicts, experts said. It's that they take advantage of some people's psychological predispositions to gambling.
Okay. I don't know. You can't if a company's doing something bad, they're just doing something bad. You can't be to blame for somebody's predisposition. Like a bar can't be blamed for somebody's predisposition to being an alcoholic.
No, you can't.
You can be blamed for over-serving them, and then when they leave they have an accident.
That's what I mean. Like I think that's what they're saying here is that it's not that this like you said, it's not that the bar serves alcohol.
Yeah.
Or that the alcoholic walks into the bar. Those are two separate things happening. It's when the bar tricks the alcoholic into drinking more than they should be. That's when.
But bars don't do that.
No, it's a shitty example. I'm just saying that's what the loot boxes are doing.
Okay,
They're tricking people into continuously paying more money and to get better rewards.
Okay, yeah. They're doing.
That's what they're doing.
They are doing that. But what I'm saying, they can't be blamed for the predisposition of somebody being a gambler.
No. But they can be blamed.
Like
but they
can
be
saying.
blamed for using that predisposition as a weapon against that person.
Okay, but they don't know that person does. They're just all what I'm saying. I'm not defending them, but it sounds like I am. All they're doing is saying they're greedy little monsters, just want some money. Blah, 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 blah. I want money, 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 money. And so they're just putting this out there, but they're not going, hey, this particular person,
No.
they have a predisposition to gambling, so I'm going to zero in on them. That's not what they're doing. They're not.
Well,
that,
that's not what this guy's saying either, though.
But it sounded like it.
Well, here's what he actually said. Here's the quote.
Okay.
Sorry. So here's what he says. It is not that it is a gateway. It is that it is a way that video game companies may accidentally or incidentally be profiting from problem gambling among their consumers.
Okay.
That's what he's saying. I don't know if that's what you said.
It's still not their problem.
No, it's not their problem, but
And-
providing these things so freely for kids that are, the young teens that are susceptible to getting those problems, that's where it becomes that's why this needs to be.
I think when they make it accessible to young kids because of ratings and everything, that's a problem. But
Yes,
doing it, just having it in a video game is not their problem.
It's not the game. It's not the video game company's problem per se.
Yeah.
It is not their problem that, like, oh, we made a mechanic, and just because there's somebody out there who's a gambling addict, he's playing the game and doing whatever. But but to not regulate it and to make it as gross as it is, like, they keep making it worse and worse.
Well, it sounds like somebody's going to change that.
Hopefully, but it just feels like I agree with what you're saying. It's not the company's fault it's not the company's problem that you have an addiction.
Yeah.
But if somebody I know, if I have an addiction to gambling and I play your game and you keep making these mechanics that kind of force me to gamble, it just makes me want to play your game more and makes me want to give you more money. Like with the My Team thing.
I still don't think it's their problem.
I think
it's
the
shady.
way they go about doing it is what's causing the problem.
I think the whole process is just gross and shady.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I don't think it's their problem that people keep doing it.
So famously, EA rejected the characterization of their loot box system as exploitative, telling Parliament, here it is, that loot boxes are quote-unquote surprise mechanics that were actually quite ethical and quite fun. Okay. The committee was not persuaded by this, though, and recommended that loot boxes that contain the element of chance should not be sold to children playing games. Completely agree with that.
Yep, absolutely.
It also recommended that games containing loot boxes, which can be purchased for real-world money, should be labeled as gambling and have corresponding gambling laws apply to them. The recommendations for the committee aren't laws, but the government may choose to take the recommendation and begin regulating loot boxes in the UK.
Good.
So yeah, there's that. So that's potentially happening. But here's a weird twist to that story that I found absolutely hilarious. You know who's not a fan of loot boxes?
Who's not a fan of loot boxes?
Apparently Jesus.
Jesus.
Jesus! The Church of England's loot box stance is flawed. So the Church of England has taken a firm stance against loot boxes, comparing them to gambling.
Okay.
The church specifically pointed to them as harmful for children who they claim can learn bad gambling habits from loot boxes while playing specific games. Recently, members of the UK Parliament made moves to label loot boxes as gambling. The conversation arose when a study by UK's Department for Digital Culture, Media and Sports pointed out psychological effects loot boxes can have on the minds of players. So now the Church of England has thrown its opinion into the ring, although it has taken a decidedly more ominous tone, which sounds like something Seteth might say in Fire Emblem The Three Houses, which is a game reference that
Okay.
even I don't even know because I don't play that game.
Okay.
But whatever. So the church accuses addictive games of casting a dark shadow over the colorful world of childhood play.
Okay, wow. They went
It's
there.
super ominous.
I
Like,
know.
it's almost the Harry Potter thing all over
Yeah,
again,
yeah, yeah.
which is hilarious. So the grandiose language does not stop there. According to the Bishop of St. Albans, Right Reverend Dr. Alan Smith, the committee's report highlights that parents and guardians already sense seemingly innocuous games with chance loot boxes are turning children's innocent play into a gateway to gambling. Harmful and addictive products flooding children's games cast a dark shadow over the colorful world of childhood play. Games should be a place of adventure and discovery, not a vehicle for profit making at children's expense. Which I agree with.
I agree with all that.
I
Yeah,
actually
absolutely.
agree with all of that.
Yeah.
Video games should be a place to escape your problems, not a place that you could get more problems from.
Yeah, exactly.
I shouldn't have to worry about getting an addiction from playing a video game.
Yep.
I'm trying to escape those addictions. Why are you pushing them in my face? So the debate over whether or not loot boxes count as gambling has raged on for a few years now, as numerous studies have found loot boxes can bring out addictive tendencies in some players. Larger companies like EA defend loot boxes by comparing them to surprise toys like blind boxes or Kinder eggs, but studies have revealed a subset of gamers who will spend a lot of money falling for the randomization nature of loot boxes. So many folks who come to the defense of loot boxes shift the blame back onto parents, claiming that they should take responsibility for their children's actions, and Dr. Smith addresses that too. Instead of continuously shifting the emphasis onto parents and children themselves, the industry needs to wake up and start taking responsibility.
I think it's the parents' responsibility.
Yeah, so he continues to say, putting children's lives ahead of their profit margins seems, to me, a pretty basic ask.
Yeah.
It's like, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
Like, I agree that, yes, parents should be held responsible to a point. They should be making sure that they, know what games your kids are playing, know what movies your kids are watching. Yeah.
There's absolutely no excuse for a parent to not know what's going on.
Absolutely.
Because everybody knows you can go to YouTube for anything.
Absolutely.
If I want to know what the game looks like, I would go to YouTube and type in the name just to see if it came up, and I guarantee it would have playthroughs.
Yes.
And
I
then
don't remember
would
the
go,
name of the game, though. But
but it doesn't matter. Any game. You could go on any...
No, I'm just saying in that one. But yeah. What you're saying is...
And parents can look at it and go, okay, that seems a little too violent.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Or, no, that seems fine.
Yeah.
And then you can buy what you can buy it.
If a kid asks for a video game, Mommy, can I have this video game for Christmas? Google that video game, YouTube that video game. Yeah, that video game looks fine.
Yeah.
Or no. The fuck you can?
Yeah.
Prostitutes?
Yeah.
No.
No.
And no.
But there's
there's
no reason why today parents can't be more involved and more responsible.
In today's world and in the future world, there is no reason why parents shouldn't know what their kids are watching, what they're playing, what they're listening to. There are ways on your device that you can make sure other devices are doing things. You know what I mean? You can control devices from one central device, whether it's your phone or your tablet or whatever, and you can control those things. So do that.
And as a parent, it is your responsibility to do that.
Oh, absolutely. But, as a...
Oops.
Oh, jeez. Check it bad. Nice. So as a parent myself, if my son asks me if he wants a game, I like to think of myself as fairly knowledgeable in video games. I'd probably already know what it was. But if I didn't, I would look it up. I'd see what the hell game is this? What is he talking about? Oh no, you're not getting that.
Yeah.
Why not? It costs too much money. Get out of here.
Yeah.
That's my usual response. Because if you say, oh, it's got bad words in it or whatever the hell, then it's like, oh my God, I want to play it more. Because the more you can't have this because it's bad for you. I want it. It's too much money. I can't afford it. No. That's my excuse. So that way he doesn't ask anymore.
Yeah.
Nope, that costs so much money. Not happening.
Yep.
But in reality, it's a head just popped off. A head just popped off. No. No. You are not playing that game. No, that costs too much money. It's $5.
Yeah.
Nope, $5 is too much money. I can't afford $5.
Too much money.
It's too much money. Sorry, Daddy's got to buy a $50 game. Where heads are coming off, but I'm an adult, damn it. I can play those games. I have a brain that knows that this isn't real. As like I said, as a parent, I would make myself responsible for those things. But I would also, like, in a situation like FIFA or Madden or any of these sports games where you put these mechanics in there, I would be pissed off that this game is, at first glance, oh yeah, that looks fine. Because a lot of times in the trailers, they don't show those mechanics. So watch some more videos. Do some more digging. Like, oh, I'll look into this more and and see if it's any good or whatever. Especially if it's a sports game, because if it's a sports game, there's going to be something in there.
I think that there's really no excuse nowadays that parents can't be more involved.
Absolutely, there's no excuse why parents or anybody shouldn't know what's going on.
And parents need to play a more active role in their kids' lives.
In general,
I swear, I'm so tired of seeing these. I see these teachers do videos where some of them have been crying because these parents came in and just shit all over them.
Oh, I hate it.
And I'm thinking to myself,
I haven't seen those videos lately, but I know.
But originally when I went to college, I was going to be a teacher.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I went to when
then
I
you
was in
realized-
Washington State.
Fuck that.
Well, this is what happened. I was going to school to be a teacher,
Uh-huh.
and one of my semesters I went to go be a TA at first was an elementary school and then a junior high.
Oh, cool.
No.
Well, cool that you got that experience.
The elementary school was fine. There was a lot of crying and a lot of boogers and a lot of snot and a lot of pee in my pants, and I was just not into that.
Kids are gross.
Yeah, they're just nasty little fart machines. They're just gross.
Yeah.
But they're sweet, and they're learning.
They're
and,
mogwais.
Yeah, but then
They're little. They're little.
the
gremlins come out.
then the junior high kids, and I wanted to be a high school teacher.
Oof. That
high
was
school
probably
history.
Worse.
Yeah, the junior high kids.
That was as high as you got.
Yeah, I didn't
God.
even I didn't even finish the week.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it because of the kids or the parents?
The kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the teenagers are horrible.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, and they're
That's
just rude. They were mouthy then. This was 2002.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. They just, and I'm sitting here, and the thing is I would have started out as a teacher making roughly $27,000 a year, $20-something a year.
Not enough.
No, not to go to school, and you don't start out at the school you want to go to.
Oh, no, yeah, not at all.
You're usually a sub, and then you're going to be put in the most ghetto school where no teacher wants to work.
Yeah, they put you where you're needed.
Yeah, where you're
Yeah.
needed.
Which
and,
makes sense.
And then if you want to be a good teacher, but there's just no way. I was
Yeah.
sitting there watching these kids who were rude to their teacher, wouldn't listen. They were mouthy, rude teenagers, preteens, teenagers. And I'm thinking, I'm going to get paid garbage.
To deal with this?
And I have to pay back my college
Yeah.
to deal with this. And I got to, who knows where I'm going to be working? Nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
So I decided to just go for business and then later on to project management. But the teachers, there are bad teachers out there.
There are bad teachers.
But there are teachers out there that care, and they get dumped on by parents
Oh, yeah.
because
They're-
parents think that they're the babysitters, and it's like, no,
Yeah.
it's a team effort.
Why is my son failing your class?
Yeah, it must be your fault.
Why is your son a fucking idiot?
Yeah, are you
Sorry.
are you doing homework? And I would have been one of those teachers that probably wouldn't have stayed because you know me, I would have just
You would have been fired.
I would have been fired.
Yeah.
I would have said, well, do you do homework with your kid, or do you just put them in front of a TV? Because if they have homework, you need to it's your job to make sure they do
Yeah.
the homework, not mine. But I didn't want to go that route. But there are
I don't blame you.
there are teachers that still do, but parents who just act like it's the teacher's job, just as if, well, I should be able to buy any video game and not have to worry about it.
Sorry.
What universe do you live in?
Yeah. There are.
It's not even video games. You can't even go to buy a movie and think that.
Yeah. You can't watch a TV show.
Yeah, you can't watch a TV show and do that.
You can't do anything. A book.
No.
Music. You can't do anything like that and
No.
go, well, why can't I just give it to my child and let them absorb it?
And then you have
And just trust that it's good.
yeah, if
Because you as a parent have to do some research and homework.
yeah, because you get these you let your kids watch this, play this stuff, and then they have no respect for any kind of authority.
Right.
Then you've got them being crappy to their teachers, getting busted by cops, and then they're mouthy to the cops, and then and then the cops get blamed. Well, I mean, there's bad cops out there, but there's really good cops out there, and they're trying to do their job.
Yeah.
And they've got your shitty ass teenager who's mouthy because you couldn't take the time to watch the hell what they were doing. And now not only are the cops their babysitters, but the teachers are their babysitters, and now the judicial system's their babysitters.
All because EA wants to put loot boxes in the game.
Seriously, EA, you ruined the universe of.
You're ruining all these children.
No, but at the end of the day,
No.
it's parents. It's really parents' responsibility.
It is, but
You
like
can't think a company's going to act ethically.
No.
Any company.
no, you're right. But it does suck that the companies don't act ethically.
It does.
They should. There should be checks and balances that these companies need to follow.
Yeah,
But
and
as
they
a parent, you also do need to do so.
They should be held accountable for bad business practices, but it's
Absolutely.
not their problem that your kid is playing this video game.
No, absolutely not. It is whoever bought the game. It's their problem. It's you as a parent.
You explain it.
Yeah, you need to figure it out. But
Loot boxes is like always.
it's always a goddamn thing.
I know.
And for some reason, EA is always mentioned.
I know. We haven't talked about Bethesda in a while. It's always been EA lately.
Well, I think Bethesda's staying quiet because they're working on two big games coming out soon.
Oh.
Well, not soon, but supposed to be coming out in like a couple of years. So I think what they're doing is they're staying quiet and they're working on those games and they're not going to cause any waves.
Oh, like, let's everybody forget about
Yeah.
76.
Hey, boss, what are we going to do today? We're going to work on the games that I said we were going to work on. And we're going to shut the fuck up. Is that,
Yeah,
okay?
nobody's going to say a
Get
damn
to
thing.
coding. Nobody talks about anything. Okay? If I hear anybody talk about dark rum again, you're fired.
I'll lose my mind.
I'm going to lose my goddamn mind.
Yeah, no.
So,
All right, everybody. So to find out more information about our podcast, you can go to our website at www.geek-lish. We're on Facebook at geek-lish and at Twitter at geek_lish. And you can find our episodes at Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Blueberry, YouTube, and coming soon, Pandora. We'll announce when that's all set to go.
yeah. And also, this podcast is out. There is a video of me in massive pain. Go check that out.
Yeah, definitely check it out. That'll be hilarious. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening.
All right. Stay nerdy out there.
Bye.
Bye.